Kim Il-sung was born on April 15, 1912, in Mangyongdae, Pyongyang, then part of Daedong County in Pyongan Province, as the eldest son of Kim Hyung-jik and Kang Pan-sok. Originally, his name was not Kim Il-sung, but Kim Song-ju. There are various theories about why he changed his name. According to Kim Il-sung's autobiography, the reason for the name change is mentioned, but this autobiography is widely considered to be a work of fiction rather than a reliable source. Hence, many aspects of Kim Il-sung's life remain enigmatic. In this video, we'll focus on the more verifiable aspects of his life. According to declassified CIA documents, during his high school years, Kim Il-sung changed his name after being involved in theft and murder. There was an actual anti-Japanese guerrilla leader named Kim Il-sung who disappeared at some point, and it is believed that Kim Il-sung appropriated his name. Kim Il-sung was known for stealing others' achievements. Back to his early life, Kim Il-sung was born during the Japanese occupation of Korea. His father, a smallholder, was also an activist who was imprisoned for his involvement in the Korean independence movement. After his release, the family moved to Jilin, Manchuria, in 1919, when Kim Il-sung was 8 years old. Following his father's encouragement, Kim Il-sung returned to Korea to attend school, but had to flee back to Manchuria after his father was arrested again. When Kim Il-sung was 16, his father was assassinated by communist militants for his anti-communist stance. His father had been working as an unlicensed doctor and selling opium in Manchuria. After his father's death, Kim Il-sung led a tumultuous life, frequently changing schools and wandering. During middle school, he was introduced to Lenin's theory of imperialism by a Chinese teacher and became attracted to various ideologies, including communism and imperialism. This newfound interest soon turned into action. In May 1929, Kim Il-sung joined the Korean Communist Youth Association and began his activities as a communist. Despite his father being killed by communists, he continued to pursue communism, possibly seeing it as an opportunity rather than an ideology to despise. However, Kim Il-sung's activities with the Korean Communist Youth Association were short-lived as he was soon arrested by the Japanese police. After his release in 1930, he was expelled from school and had to decide between living a life on the run or continuing his communist activities. He chose the latter and joined the Communist Revolutionary Army led by Lee Jong-rak. Kim Il-sung was appointed as a squad leader in charge of collecting taxes to fund weapons. He was relentless in his methods, often resorting to violence and intimidation to extort money from both Koreans and Chinese. At this point, he was still using his original name, Kim Song-ju. The exact origin of the name Kim Il-sung remains unclear, but it was around this time that he began using it. However, the Communist Revolutionary Army didn't last long due to internal conflicts and constant threats from the Japanese police and other adversaries. In 1931, Japan launched the Manchurian Incident, and the Chinese Communist Party ordered the formation of anti-Japanese guerrilla units. Kim Il-sung joined these units and served until 1942 as part of the Chinese Communist Party-led Northeast Anti-Japanese United Army. During this time, he was known as a platoon leader, and his exploits were later exaggerated in his memoirs, although most of it is fiction. One of the few confirmed achievements is the Battle of Bochunbo, where his unit fought against Japanese forces. After the battle, Kim Il-sung married Kim Jong-suk, and they had a son, Kim Jong-il. However, the Northeast Anti-Japanese United Army was soon decimated by Japanese forces, and Kim Il-sung fled to the Soviet Union. There, he joined the 88th International Brigade under Soviet command. Initially suspected of being a Japanese spy, Kim Il-sung used his fluency in Chinese to prove his loyalty and eventually became a Soviet officer. In 1945, with Japan's defeat imminent, the United States and the Soviet Union agreed to divide the Korean peninsula along the 38th parallel, with the Soviets taking control of the north and the Americans the south. Stalin sought a puppet leader for the north and chose Kim Il-sung, despite stronger candidates like Pak Han-yong. Stalin wanted a compliant leader, and Kim Il-sung fit the bill. Returning to Korea with Soviet backing, Kim Il-sung absorbed various communist factions and established his dominance. He initiated land and industrial reforms and suppressed his opponents to solidify his rule. By 1948, North Korea held its first elections, and Kim Il-sung became the leader of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea on September 9, 1948. However, communist ideology was diverse and often conflicting. Some still supported Pak Hon-yong, leading to internal strife. Pak Hon-yong proposed an invasion of the South, believing his supporters there could swiftly overthrow the government. Kim Il-sung and Pak Hon-yong received approval from Stalin and Mao Zedong, leading to the outbreak of the Korean War on June 25, 1950. The war did not go as planned. The United States quickly intervened, and the tide turned with the Incheon landing. Kim Il-sung, desperate, asked Stalin for more support. Despite the initial uncertainty over who started the war, it is now widely accepted that North Korea invaded the South. After the war, Kim Il-sung needed a scapegoat and blamed Pak Hon-yong, accusing him of being a U.S. spy and executing him along with his associates. This purging extended to other prominent communists. Kim Il-sung also faced external pressure from the new Soviet leader, Nikita Khrushchev, who criticized Stalinist dictatorships. To secure his position, Kim Il-sung intensified his internal purges and adopted the Juche ideology, which promoted self-reliance and his absolute rule. In 1972, North Korea's constitution was revised to establish the presidency, further solidifying Kim Il-sung's power. His rule was marked by failed economic policies and increasing isolation. He attempted to gain international recognition and even engaged in dialogue with South Korea in the early 1990s. However, he passed away from a heart attack on July 8, 1994, after passing the leadership to his son, Kim Jong-il. Kim Il-sung's life demonstrates that he was not necessarily a capable leader, but rather an opportunistic figure who benefited from a tumultuous era. His legacy has left North Korea in a state of perpetual dictatorship and economic ruin. This concludes our look at the life of Kim Il-sung.